Back everyone, it's me Matt, thanks so much for joining me today. We are looking at the Puma. It's not a Puma. No, it is a Puma, and unfortunately it's dealing with a little bit of problems at the moment. Now I want to be very clear before I go into this video. Of course, I've just come back from my visit to working with the CV90 platform. There's no timing specific to this. I'm not biased in any way. I have a huge respect for the Puma, its capabilities, and what it can do, and just its platform overall. But unfortunately there's been some pretty significant information come through in the last few days about how the Puma has been performing in some live fire training in the Bundeswehr range in Bergen, which is actually, I've been there many times, worked in Bergen in my British Army career, and the Puma has definitely hit some, I guess, hiccups in the giddy-up. As you all know, the Puma Infantry fighting vehicle is a very prominent modern IFV that has been pushed into the German Armed Forces to eventually replace the Marder and to be the tip of the spear for the NATO Very High Readiness Task Force, or VJTF, for 2023, which is basically, we need these things operational to go into combat if necessary, if something kicks off around the world. But of course, the German Ministry of Defense has done a lot of trial and testing of this platform for quite some time, and recently, on the 16th of December, there was some definite concerns as to what was going on with vehicles that were being tested. 18 of them, in fact, suffered total failure during the ranges. And the German Ministry of Defense has a comprehensive inventory and failure analysis effort that's been done since that time, and they've been sort of looking into what's going on. But the incident has been reported by Der Spiegel, citing an email sent from the command of the Bundeswehr's 10th Armored Division, Major General Rupert von Butler, to the Army's Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Alphonse May. The email stated that the operational readiness of 18 of these vehicles went down to 0. That means 18 out of the 18 were completely unusable only after a small period of time of deployment. At the moment, it's hard to tell, and it's speculative because I haven't got a huge amount of information on this. I'm sure more will come in the future, and it's probably quite subjective to being kept quiet for the meantime, I guess. But the failures have, what I can only find so far, has been pushed into things with the electronics, but also some cable fires. Now, this vehicle is covered in electronics, so it's inherently going to have issues, but when you talk about fires, that's a little scary. You don't want fires in armored fighting vehicles. That's really a bad time. I mean, a fire alone, is not good. But when the systems inside of infantry fighting vehicles or armored fighting vehicles detect fires, the systems that create the, putting the fire out, the extinguish of the fire, can actually kill you. So I don't know if this one has that system, but I can almost guarantee it's pretty close to it. Now, they have done, obviously, some pretty quick analysis here to see what they can try and do. They're looking at trying to get information as quickly as they can. I think by the end of next week is sort of where they're saying, the Bundeswehr is saying anyway. But it's a pretty big milestone at the moment. I mean, they're at the point where they want to proceed with continuing on with the Puma, but they've halted all production, I think, or sort of, moving forward with Puma until this is fixed, and rightly so. I mean, when you talk about vehicles having fires, that's a big deal. And what's more concerning is the Pumas that were in question were actually the ones that had the most upgrades. They were configured to be the most, quote, combat ready, the ones that were available to go if necessary. There was lots of different upgrades, whether it be the software, to the sighting systems, the optics, different displays, things like that. And that's a big deal, right? We're talking about, the vehicle that's been given the creme de la creme of opportunities and upgrades ready to go, and it's now saying, yeah, actually, no, we're having pretty big problems. And to have 18-0 as an attrition rate is, wow. Now, I'm not trying to hit down the Puma. I'm not saying that these problems are going to, break the back of the program, but it's pretty significant. On the 14th of December, just days before this story came out, though, there was funding to upgrade the baseline Pumas to the VJTF standard, and a second batch of around 50 of these vehicles, similar to this configuration, was slated to be ordered in 2023. They're literally about to step off and buy more. But of course, this has now been paused. They're going to be looking into what's happened. They're going to do probably a lot more investigation and really trying to hone in on what happened here. Now, I think what's happened is because of all these upgrades, something has, clearly not been verified. Something's not been validated in these upgrades that have caused some potential problems. Because when you have a system failure of almost, well, pretty much 100%, it's going to be probably quite quick to narrow down what the problem is. When you find one or two vehicles, it can be more difficult, right, if they have different issues to another, because it can be a varied range. And I've worked on, upgrades of vehicles before, especially with like electronics, things like that. It can be complicated, right, especially with software. My goodness. I didn't have any software in Warrior because it was just all straight, normal, analog, digitalized systems that had no complex software in there, really. Even the simple, battle management system was really not that complex. But what we're talking about on, things like Puma is we've got cameras, we've got displays, we've got, gyroscopes, we've got targeting systems, fire control systems, all linking together, networked systems. There's a lot going on there. But I really hope they're able to find out what's going on with the cable fires, because that would be very scary. If I was a driver in a vehicle knowing that there could be cable fires, that would be pretty concerning. But knowing what's probably going to be happening with German engineering, they're going to fix this very quickly. I mean, to create an order that's just around the corner, I can almost guarantee you that this is going to get fixed real fast. Probably a very simplistic fix overall. Maybe a little costly, for sure. And I'm sure it's put a little bit of a sour taste in the German military's mouth, but at the end of the day, the vehicle is promising. I do have a lot of respect for it. And I think it's going to have the capacity to succeed in going into that, very high readiness joint task force that they're looking for 2023. Let's just hope it doesn't take too long to find the problems and fix them. But we'll see. That decisive milestone is right there. And it's a big bit of a cookie that you want to have ready for after Christmas to have an order like that coming through. 50 of these vehicles. That's 50 Pumas. That's like 2 or 3 battalions worth of infantry and fighting vehicles ready to go. So we'll see what happens. But I just thought I'd let you guys know. Maybe you could give me a little bit of your opinion in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your stance on this whole situation. And if you know any more information, feel free to let me know in the comment section below as well. Thanks again for watching and stopping by. If you did enjoy today's video, please leave me a like and hit the bell by the subscribe button. Take care. Bye-bye.